33-18 was the final score after a bunch of field goals early on. Georgia scored the last 20 points of the game. Kirby Smart, I think the big story is, right? Nick Saban had never lost to an assistant before this year.
Oh, it's not me winning the bet? That's not the big story?
Well,
I felt like that was
a big story.
Man, we got it in.
I felt like that was a big story.
You won. Yay. Yeah. Jay won. I said they would Alabama win by 21. They lost. You won.
That's angry.
Go ahead and
that's angry.
Go ahead and
when he loses a bet.
Go ahead and
I love it.
Keep the show going, Max. Thank you.
Dismiss it. Move on.
We just need to stop down for a second. You do realize if Alabama had won by 20, you would still have lost that bet.
Oh, I understand. I'm having
20.
Isn't that what y'all call it? Hot takes or something like that? Ain't that?
Yeah, that was a scorching hot take.
No,
y'all just say anything.
That wasn't a hot take. That was reckless speculation.
So, but Kirby Smart finally beats Nick Saban. What'd you take away from the game?
I mean, look, there's a couple ways you could go with this game. I look at it and I say Kirby Smart finally, like you said, beat his boss, but he did it in a way that made you think that, okay, now you could catapult him into another level as a head coach. But you look at there's no excuses, but you have to factor in the fact that Alabama, skill position-wise, had lost some players along the way. When you lose the only viable top receiver in Williams in the middle of the game, I mean, that hurts. That sends a fog to the locker room. The rest of your team is sitting around there trying to figure things out. Now you start to think about, okay, offensively, how could Bryce Young continue to be the Heisman Trophy guy if he doesn't have weapons around him? Eventually, it's going to catch up to you.
Especially with that front seven on Georgia.
Yeah, the front seven was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Them dudes was coming. They was there to eat. There was no question about it. On both sides of the ball, though, I thought Alabama's defense at times played well as well.
Yeah, Jay, what's nuts is Georgia, remember all the chatter, it's the greatest defense ever. Actually, if you take away the Alabama game in the SEC championship, we might be sitting here and saying that right now, right? Based on the way they played all season and then in the title game.
There are a lot of questions. I think the big question for Georgia's defense was just the question around their DBs and their coverage, right?
Yep.
And Ringo getting that pick six at the end of the game, I think that was something that solidified their defense. And they played with a chip on their shoulder. Look, I give Stetson Bennett a lot of credit as well. I mean, the youth that Alabama had on the outside of their coverage, they took advantage of that. And it was incredible to see. We talk about, Max, team's identity yesterday, right? A team being who they are. That defense, with the way they got that blitz package, with the pressure that they were able to put on Bryce Young, keep that pressure on him throughout the course of the game, that's the identity of who Georgia is.
We just showed a graphic on ESPN, too, among the lowest points per game allowed ever by a national champion, Georgia. Alabama in 2011, 8.2. Michigan in 97, 8.9. Miami in 2001, 9.4. Georgia this year, 10.2. But again, take away that Alabama game. That one loss to Alabama probably shoots to the top of the list. Anyway, you mentioned Stetson Bennett, the Georgia quarterback. He was with Ian Fitzsimmons of ESPN Radio after the game.
I have no clue. Whenever Keeley caught that pick, it just hit me. It just, my whole body, I mean, I just started crying. I can't describe it. I don't know what that was. I wasn't planning on it. I didn't know that was going to happen. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Stetson Bennett did play well when it mattered most.
It's a good story. It's a good story. He's a walk-on, got an opportunity, and, and now he's a national champion, led his team to a national championship. He played well. He had some big plays and big moments in the game. The game didn't seem too big for him like the SEC championship did. I think it slowed down a little bit. But when you're not applying the pressure from an offensive standpoint from the other team, you can get your team to play a certain way. And I think that's what Kirby Smart and company was able to do because Alabama wasn't really applying the pressure. Alabama they left about 21 points on the field kicking in field goals.
Meaning, you can give credit to the Georgia defense or take away from the Alabama offense, but meaning when a quarterback like Stetson Bennett isn't under pressure to make too many things happen, he can play looser. Because he seemed to play with real poise down the stretch.
Well, just in general, an offense, in Alabama's offense, wasn't applying the pressure to Georgia. It was 3-0, 3-3, 6-3, 9-3. I mean, that's nothing. They were not scoring touchdowns. They were
making him feel like I got to make it happen.
Now you are now relaxed to be able to do your job. You're like, oh, I'm only down a touchdown, opposed to being down by 17. You're only down by 3, 6, 9.
Also below Max in the second half, though, the physicality of the running game for Georgia was different. Obviously, it allowed Stetson to take more chances downfield. But, I mean, when you have 4 running backs, it was almost like the cumulative effect for Georgia. It started to wear down the Alabama defense.
Yeah, I think those are good points. I thought Stetson Bennett looked poised. I think poise is the word. In the big moments down the stretch, he looked calm to me.
And they also recognized in the secondary for Alabama that they were missing some key
Injuries,
people there, and they targeted that. They said to themselves, we got a guy from junior college out here on an island by himself. Let's go attack him. And that's what they did.
Nick Saban was talking to Molly McGrath on ESPN about Kirby Smart, former assistant, winning his first – forget about beating Nick Saban, winning his first title.
Well, I'm proud of Kirby. I'm proud of the program that he's built. He's done an outstanding job, with his team. They played great. They've probably been the most consistent team all year long. We did a really good job, in the SEC championship game. Nobody can take that away from these kids, and I'm proud of them for what they were able to accomplish.
How classy is that? This is just first-class individual, and Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time in college football, is able to give flowers to Kirby Smart, his assistant, in a moment like that, when obviously Nick Saban's one of the most competitive people on this damn planet, right? But to obviously say positive things about Kirby Smart, and Kirby has done an incredible job. And I was thinking about that last night. It's like going back to your alma mater, right? A place where you met your wife, and winning a championship, the first one since 1980, and bringing that program. You look at his 6-year resume; it is off the charts. Yeah. It's like 65-15.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.